Alright, Budget Magic, playing some blue-green Emerge in Standard. And this is alright. Little light on blue mana, but hopefully we can find our way through it. Woodland Stream, go. Chivalry for our opponent. Forest, and Deathcap Cultivator. Pass the turn. And Lightning Axe, discarding a take inventory. Alright, our opponent is up to something spicy. Mountain. And no land. Alright. Another cultivator. Pass the turn. I guess this could be a goggles deck. Lightning Axe, discarding a Startled Awake. Okay. Another land for our opponent, and Sphinx's Tutelage. Well, Leaf Gilder, go. Opponent gets to start milling with the Tutelage. There goes a land and a Leaf Gilder. Tormenting Voice for our opponent, gets some more triggers. Discards a Startled Awake. Hits lands and lands. Oh, we seriously need land. Sky Spawner, alright. Well, let's Sky Spawner. And pass the turn. Opponent gets to mill us for 4 with the Tutelage. Fiery Impulse. And Bedlam Reveler. Gets some more Tutelage triggers. Well, this would be going much differently if we weren't getting mana screwed. Well, our opponent does some milling. Well, we draw land. It enters the battlefield tapped, unfortunately. Duskwatch Recruiter, pass the turn. So, we are most likely just dead here to the Tutelage. We just did not get anywhere near a fast enough start. And our opponent has another Tutelage. Tormenting Voice gets a bunch of Tutelage triggers. Reveler. Oh, and they have a Fiery Temper, too. Problem with this deck is if you don't have Tutelage, I mean, I love Tutelage as much as the next person, but sometimes you don't draw Tutelage, and then life is bad. But our problem is we just are not drawing lands at all. So, most likely we're just dead here to Tutelage triggers. Down to 15, down to 13. Chivalry for our opponent. And passes. Still not a land. Well, Whirler Rogue. Get some more tokens. Get in with our Scion and our Watcher, making them blockable with our Thopters. Fiery Temper going to take down our Eldrazi Sky Spawner. So we just get in for 1. And we're still pretty close to being dead to Tutelage. Down to 8 cards. Drownyard Temple for our opponent. And passes. The lack of lands is super devastating. Well, we get to play Eyeless Watcher. Get some more Scions. Get in a couple random points of damage. Sadly enough, we were about a land away from winning, even through this draw. Activates Tutelage, and that does it. Yeah, we end up being a land short. Well, we want negates, and we want these Mockeries of Nature. We can go down a Decimator, some of our Mana Dorks, and an Eyeless Watcher. And let's try it like that. Alright, we get to play first. And, jeez. This hand is slow. I mean, we have finishers, but this hand is super slow. No 2-drops. But, Woodland Stream, pass turn. Well, there's a Duskwatch. Might as well run it out there, see if it gets hit by a fiery impulse. Looks like. Or Lightning Axe, pitching a Drown Yard Temple. Island for our opponent. And passes. Well, Yavimaya Coast. And Foul Emissary. Get an Elder Deep Fiend. There's a negate. We wouldn't mind having a negate in hand. Pass the turn. Mountain for our opponent. And gets back Drown Yard Temple. That's fine. We're actually kind of where we want to be now. So Westville Abbey, get in with Foul Emissary. Put our opponent down to 19. Stop on our opponent's upkeep. Emerge, Elder Deep Fiend. Tap down our opponent's lands. Opponent's going to tap out in response. We get a token. And they're going to, alright, Fiery Temper our token. But we kind of have the lock on. We get in for 5. Lumbering Falls, alright. So get in for 5. Stop on our opponent's upkeep. Emerge another Deep Fiend. Tap our opponent out. Fire up Lumbering Falls. Get in with both. Put our opponent down to 6. Pass the turn. And they got to do something pretty explosive here. Okay. Plays a 1/1 that adds mana. And passes. Well, we simply emerge a Decimator of Provinces. And swing for lethal. And that does it. Ooh, alright, that went much better than the first game, where our opponent just kind of got to go off on us with their combo. I think we'll keep it like that. Alright, game 3 against a super sweet looking Tutelage deck. Unfortunately, we're not playing the Tutelage deck. But we do have a pretty sweet Emerge deck, so can't complain too much. Yavimaya Coast, go. Island for our opponent. And Curious Homunculus. Hopefully we draw lands. Ugh. Alright, Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Probably don't want to activate this too much. Kind of falls right into our opponent's plan. Tormenting Voice, pitches Drown Yard Temple. And a Shivan Reef. Ugh. Dare we tap out? They're going to flip this thing pretty soon. I think if they had a Tutelage, they would have cast it last turn. So let's go Foul Emissary, get a Sky Spawner. We don't really need the Deep Fiend here since we already have a handful of them. Hopefully we didn't misread the situation. Also, hopefully we draw a colored land that's untapped. I would love to be able to like play things and leave up negate. That would make our lives so much easier. Tormenting Voice pitches a Chandra. And there's the Tutelage. Oh dear. Come on, land! Decimator. Decimator is not what we wanted here. Well, I guess we just got a Sky Spawner. Maybe we should have mulliganed. Well, I get the feeling we're probably going to get milled a ton. Leaf Gilder and Lumbering Falls. Wondering Fumarole. And our opponent passes. Come on, blue mana! Oh no! We can't even emerge that. Alright, let's get in with our Sky Spawner. I guess we just gotta pass. Oh my goodness, this feels bad. Impulse takes down our Foul Emissary. I guess we discard Decimator for now. We're nowhere near casting it. Opponent gets to flip this thing. Gets in for 3. Kozilek's return. Oh, alright. Well, we gotta negate that. We still got a chance if we draw lands. Not a land. Let's get in with both. Oh, man. Twice in this match we've gotten stuck on lands. Gets back Drowned Temple. As painful as it is, we're probably going to have to loot because we are so desperate for land. Land for our opponent. Gets in for 3. This is so bad, but we don't have a choice. We gotta find a land. We mill ourselves. We let our opponent draw into action. We do find a land, though. Well, let's pitch Duskwatch, I guess. Hope our opponent didn't draw anything too awesome. So Yavimaya Coast. We don't want our opponent to block with Fumarole. We'll just attack with Sky Spawner. And I guess we just pass. Do we want to upkeep this? Let's not. Let's let it go and see what happens. Opponent activates Tutelage, gets to loot, mills us some more. Luckily all our colorless cards mean that we don't get milled super fast. Tutelage does some more milling. A second Tutelage. Okay. Alright, well, let's emerge. Sacking the Scion. Tap all the red mana. Do we sack? I think the answer is no because we already have a Deep Fiend. So let's not sack this time. Tap our opponent out. And they shouldn't be able to attack. Mana? Sky Spawner. Alright, well, let's attack. Put our opponent down to 7. Pass the turn. More Tutelage triggers. Oh, if we had one more land, things would be so much better. Tormenting Voice for our opponent. Alright, get some more Tutelage triggers. A bunch more. Hopefully they can't mill us out. 25, 23, 21, 19. Alright, let's emerge a Deep Fiend. Tap some of our opponent's stuff, including their creature. Sack the Sanctum. Get the last Deep Fiend. Attack. Put our opponent down to 1. And now we're just going to stop on the upkeep and... Oh, is that the right play? Yeah, let's stop on the upkeep. Hope for the best. Opponent gets back Drowned Temple. We discard a Leaf Gilder. Drop to 5. Emerge a Deep Fiend. Sacking a Deep Fiend. Tap down land, 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 and the creature. Opponent's going to loot with Tutelage. Can they mill us out? They shouldn't be able to. Oh, man. If down to 15. Down to 13. Tap stuff down. Alright, opponent. Can you mill us out here? 13 cards left. 11 cards left. 9 cards left. take inventory. 7, 5. And our opponent passes. Oh, does this mean we got there? Oh! Wait, we got to negate. Negate the send to sleep. And tag for lethal. Whoo! Well, our opponent had an awesome tutelage deck, but Elder Deep Fiend is pretty good. The card is so absurd. Oh, sweet.